The Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. Now, you would not believe the calls that I'm getting in the office that individuals aren't happy that the Washington Redskins won an ugly game. Well, like my grandson told me when we were playing cards many years ago, he said, get over it, and we'll get over it in the next 30 minutes. We'll be right back.
You okay there, Kurt?
We're about to move.
Karate helps relieve some of the house buying stress.
At least you don't have to worry about homeowners insurance. Call Geico.
Geico helps with homeowners insurance?
Been doing it for years.
I'm calling Geico right now.
Good idea.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
I want to make sure Alex is protected, so we were probably a little conservative early. But for the most part, I think we started to air it out a little bit more as the game went on. But can't say enough about what Jonathan Cooper did and coming in here and playing, and only about 3 or 4 days of learning. So, Coach Collin did a great job getting those guys together. Morgan fought through a knee injury and played the whole game, and Ty Secchi was a little bit banged up. So can't say enough about that offensive line. They battled through it.
All credit goes to the defense. They did an amazing job keeping it a low-scoring game and just giving us the opportunity to get the ball back and to score. But I think we were just able to hold up, grind it out, get some tough yards, and get some points. Not as many as we would have liked, but, get some points.
What are some of the things that the coaches stressed this week to the offensive line because of those injuries?
I think the biggest thing they stress is that, a B block is a B block, and, it doesn't change. The assignment doesn't change just because it's a different person doing it. So just come in, believe in one another, and work together, and we'd be okay.
Welcome back to the show, and as I said in the opening, there's only 2,000 of these players and coaches, and they also give it to our high school. And when you get to the Super Bowl and win it, you will get one of these, but it's too late now. G-Man got one, but let's talk about what this Washington Redskins team need to do to get to the Super Bowl. Now, you're talking about offense, and you got Adrian Peterson doing 19 carries for only 68 yards. Yes, you do have a couple of new lineman guys, but at the same time, you can't live with that. You're 5 for 15 on third down. That's 33%. And then you run the ball. You have more passing yards than running. Now you talk about that and you say, okay, they won the game, but they're going against Houston this week. That is a team that would be hard to run or pass on. So, Mike, what can they do to help these young players out and get it more balanced between the running and the passing?
Well, yeah, you definitely want Adrian Peterson to get back up to that 100-yard mark because they win those games, Tony. But, a lot was said around the league after the game about how somehow the Redskins had pieced together this offensive line of Secchi, you have Cooper, you have Rouillet, you have Bergstrom, and Moses playing with a torn ACL, Tony, and some kind of a labrum injury. And that was your offensive line on Sunday. So you got to give a lot of credit to the Washington Redskins for putting that line together and working them out during the week. But you're absolutely right. They have not been good on third down all season long, and they're going to need to be able to hold on to that ball and mount up those third downs. But again, Tony, nobody in this town picked them to win. No, none of the prognosticators, and yet the Redskins got it done on Sunday, and you have to admire that.
Oh, when we talk about those guys, just like I said, there are a lot of people unhappy about how they won. And really, if you think about how they won, Tampa Bay beat themselves in a lot of ways. They had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and 2 missed field goals. But at the same time, one thing G-Men, they kept saying on television, that our receivers could not separate themselves from the defensive back. Did you see that?
Well, again, I think when it comes to separation, a lot of times when you're running crossing routes that are 5 to 10 yards, sometimes it's hard to get separation, especially if you're not having any picking going along around there too. When we go vertical down the field, we seem to be only going vertical on go routes. Go routes is it, and that at some point in time, you can figure that portion out, quite honestly. So I think if we get a little bit more deeper routes downfield, we're running deep square ends, deep outs, deep post comebacks, then I think those things allow defensive back to have problems in terms of trying to cover you.
Hey, Tony, can I just jump in for a quick second as far as the offense? Because you are so right as far as the Redskins offense. It really need to get going. And Gruden said that he was conservative in the beginning of the game because of the offensive line. But they look like they're conservative during the whole game. Even though they picked it up a little bit, they've got to really be able to open up that offense and get those receivers the ball long and not 5 to 10 yards, but really open it up, because when you plan a team like Houston that's coming in, they're going to score a lot of points, hopefully not, but the Redskins have to be able to start fast and put some points on the board and get in the red zone.
Yeah, Tony, can I ask you a quick question? You got a guy like Amari Cooper who comes in and plays 2 weeks with Dallas, and yet somehow Dak put the ball on him, and a lot of those catches on Sunday night were contested catches. They're catching the ball. Dak was hitting Amari Cooper, who had been in camp 2 weeks, and we make all this press about the fact that Alex needs more time to get used to his receivers. I'm not buying that. And then why not? Let me ask you about Jordan Reed. Come on, what, 3 or 4 catches on Sunday? Look at Zach Ertz on Sunday night. Look what Carson Wentz did with him, 13 catches. They were the whole offense for them. Why can't we hit Jordan Reed, and why can't we hit contested receivers?
Well, you know what, number one, maybe all the receivers are contested, and that goes back to the question I asked G, can they separate? But number two, it was a lot of times mentioned during the game that throughout his career, Alex have not been that great on the long ball. And maybe we're seeing a little bit of that, but not to give them an excuse. This is the first year they've worked together. They've worked together for a total of 9 games. So therefore, maybe this will work out. But at the same time, to me, and any of you guys can answer this, I still think they need to run the ball 25 to 35 times a game, no matter what.
Tony, you're exactly right. You know, we always said to get this offense going, they've got to be able to put the ball. Bibbs is another running back that the Redskins have put the ball in his hands, and he's been successful. Every time he touches that ball, he seems to make plays. But 19 times into Adrian Peterson's hand is not going to get it done. 106 yards. They need to really be able to run that ball and open up the passing game a little bit more with the running game. But I think that the more they stick to the running game, they're going to get better on offense. But Gary said something off camera, Tony, about Vernon Davis. This guy is open almost like every play. That's what he's seeing.
Well, you know, he knows that, and when we come back from this break, we'll talk a little bit about that. But the one time he was open and wide open, they could not get the ball to him. So when we come back, talk a little bit more offense, but we'll bring a little defense in as well. We'll be back in a moment.
Still not overly happy with our performance when we get almost 500 yards. And if we're going to get to where we want to go, we can't do that. So, I mean, got to give a lot of credit to Tampa Bay. They missed some opportunities that we gave them, so we got to tighten it up as defense.
I mean, every time a team's driving like that and they get down in the red zone, we just tell each other, bow up and keep playing. And most of the time we make plays down in there. That's when we can make a lot of plays, and we just try to turn the momentum when they get down in there like that.
I think they was really so down, more so than us. I mean, they had 6 points they left out there. And when you look at it, it would have been a 9-16 game, so it would have kind of been a little bit different for them, I think, in the momentum. But we'll take it wherever that lives, and as long as we can stop teams and hold them to 3, we got a chance. We really do, man. And I think that's what we got to take from this and look at it and try to, repeat the cycle next week.
So if we want to be the playoff team that we need to be, we got to be better in those situations. We can't give up 400 yards. We can't give up 300 yards. That shit wasn't good enough in my eyes, tell you the truth. We held them to 3 points, but it wasn't good enough.
Well, as we were saying, the tight ends were really open on Sunday, but at the same time, they did not get the ball to them. Let's just be straight up with that. And maybe that is something Smith has to work on. But let's talk about the defense a little bit, Donna. You have to take a look at this defense. They gave up a lot of yards, time of possession. Now, Mason Foster had 10 tackles, 8 of them solo. A lot of people were doing their job, but if you're really truthful about it, Tampa Bay was moving the ball at will. The only thing that really stopped them was their own mistakes.
Tony, you are exactly right, because they were moving the ball up and down the field, and the Redskins gave up 501 yards this week, and last week 400 and some yards in their loss to Atlanta. So they've got to clean up some mistakes. I mean, Josh Norman talked about that, DJ Swearinger talked about, and Allen said that they cannot afford to give up that many yards and expect to win a game. So they do need to clean up this, because they've got Houston coming in, a team that can score points, move the ball. So they really do, Tony, need to get it together, because they cannot afford to give up that. And like you said, they were their own worst enemies as far as Tampa Bay, because they got into the red zone quite a few times, but the Redskins did come up with the picks.
You know what's really interesting, Tony? Tampa Bay was minus 19 on give and take, right at the bottom of the league. Minus 19. Think about that. How does a team win with that many turnovers? Now you're getting ready to face a team that's plus 4. But guess what? The Redskins are plus 11. And the way they've been winning these games is forcing turnovers. And that's really not characteristic of the Redskins. They're usually right around that -1, -2. This is a team that forces turnovers. It's not as much the other team making mistakes as this team plays a very good defensive side of the ball and forces turnovers. And that's why they're successful, I think.
Well, you have to take a look at it, Mike. And the one thing about it, both of the last 2 teams they played, even though they have turnover problems and the problems they had, both Atlanta and Tampa were very good offenses. We knew that going in. But what I need to look at, and I'm going to ask you this, G, when you get to see a team like the Washington Redskins have, defensive backs are getting beat at times, but they're making plays. Your running game, sometimes you can stop the run well, and then others you don't. So now you put on your coaching hat and tell me, G, what would you go in and try to do against this Washington Redskins team? What do you see that Houston would try? Because Houston, they do a lot of things well on defense and offense. So what do you see the strategy will be?
Well, I think they'll probably try to pattern their offensive game similar to what Tennessee did to us, and then similar to what Indianapolis did to us earlier on in the year. I think they'll try to pattern that, their game to that, because we've had trouble stopping that. We haven't been able to stop that type of offense. Defensively, I think they'll try to concentrate on stopping the run, because when we do get over 100 yards, we tend to win football games. So I think they'll probably try to put as much pressure on stopping Adrian as possible, and knowing that a lot of times our receivers don't go vertical downfield, they'll try to just stop that short passing game that we have at the end of the day, in my opinion. So hopefully the Redskins will come out. They'll come out. They'll game plan too. They'll prepare for them. They'll do the things that they know that they're weak at, and then the Redskins will come away with a victory, because we need a win this week. We just need a win.
I can't believe Tony told you to put on your coaching hat. Tony,
hey, he did. Hey, Donna, he did a great job. Hey, G,
for one time,
you did a great job. And when we come back, we got to finish your statement, because you hit everything point on. And the one thing that the Washington Redskins need to do, they need to think about these things. When we come back, we'll finish defense, talk a little bit of special teams, because they got recognition going for them right now. So we'll be back in a moment. Pay a couple of bills.
Hey, sports fans, two-time Super Bowl champion Gary Clark and Pacific Dental Services have joined up to bring Redskin fans a chance to win free NFL Legend experiences. Go to www.garyclarkinc.com/fans to register for a chance to win. Good luck.
I'm at this wing joint telling people that Geico's been offering savings for over 75 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Dozen wings.
And did you know that Geico offers motorcycle insurance? Oh, my lips are burning. No, my lips are actually burning.
Geico. Over 75 years of savings and service. See how much you could save at geico.com.
It's too hot. Oh, this is too hot, mate.
Well, you know you're in with the defense. We know what the defense must do because the defense on Houston team is very, very good. So that tells me one thing. Offense, defense, and special teams will have to perform. And Mike, you said Tress Way is doing very good. And if you look at our field goal kicker, Hopkins, he's doing pretty good. Tell me, what can they do to help win this game against Houston? Because this is a tremendously big game.
It is, Tony. You know what's really interesting, just real quickly about Clinton Dixon, the difference that he's made in this team. The Stroman interception he credits to because he told him, we're seeing this formation again. You go for that ball, you go get it, and I got you over the top. I mean, those are the kinds of communication skills that has brought to the secondary. Combine that with Swearinger, and you've got some good stuff going on back there, Tony, stuff we haven't seen in many years. But anyway, the reason I love Tress Way, and everybody's talking about him as a Pro Bowl punter, he put 4 more inside the 20, another 58-yard boomer. This guy has really put the Redskins in a good field position situation all season long, and I know Donna loves Hopkins.
He made his field goals. 10 of those
3 for 3. He had 10 of the 16 points, Tony.
He did
10 of the 16
field
points.
goals, so I guess we'll get Donna to play on that. But one thing we do have to realize, this team that they're going against, what did and what the kickers did and the defense, they will have to improve that. So when we get back on it after this next break, we need to talk about what does this team need to do to win these games, because there's some tough ones coming up, but the next one is the only one that they need to be concerned with. I do like the special teams better because they're starting to contribute, but we need more scores in a minute.
And now New Faces with Adam Batacci.
Welcome to New Faces. In this week's segment, we talk about Redskins offensive guard Jonathan Cooper. Originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, he was a 7th overall pick by the Cardinals in 2013. Look for him to be featured in their offensive line early and often the rest of the year.
Geico makes it so easy to manage my policy. With an app that lets me pay my bill, add a vehicle, or even file a claim, it's not just easy. It's aerobics in a recliner easy.
And plank. Move it. Shimmy. Woo. And step, swivel. Keep it going. Kick, hold. Kick it out, and kick, and kick.
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Feel the bird.
Down here in Tampa for my fan of the week. Who am I talking to?
This is Tommy.
Hi, I'm Karsta, and this is Lucas.
For his first game of his life.
So what do you think about the game today?
I think we're going to take it home, baby.
Redskins.
I think we're going to bring our offense and really show what the Bucs what we got.
And you all came all the way down here for the game?
Came all the way down yesterday for the game, going back on Tuesday, yep.
Minister of information here. I've been right a lot this year, so you need to listen to this. Minnesota going to Chicago. Minnesota got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins throw well, but at the same time, he throws badly when there's pressure. And one thing Chicago can do is pressure the quarterback. Home team, maybe a little bit cold. Minnesota used to playing inside. Pick Chicago.
The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are feeling anything but super right now. They fall to 4-5 in the NFC East division with their loss to the Cowboys. They've lost 3 straight games at home, and this week they'll take to the road to face the red-hot New Orleans Saints, who put up 51 points in their win over the Cincinnati Bengals. In the last 2 weeks, they've scored a total of 96 points, and they just signed Brandon Marshall. Now, Carson Wentz said that they've all got to look in the mirror and figure this out. Well, they better figure out how to score a lot of points and that defense slow down the Saints. This is a no-brainer. Pick the Saints.
We have Dallas traveling to Atlanta. Those Dirty Birds are just kind of confusing. You don't know to pick them one week or pick them the next week. Dallas is playing good lately. But you know what? They're playing in Atlanta. The Dirty Birds have to win. I don't really like Dallas. I'm going to juju Dallas to lose. So pick the Dirty Birds to win. Atlanta all the way.
Sunday afternoon's game features the Eagles traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints in the Superdome. Crystal City Restaurant likes the Saints. Crystal City Sports Pub likes the Saints. Greavy's likes the Saints. Hard Times Cafe of Fairfax likes the Saints. Harry's Ale House in Fredericksburg likes the Saints. And Nando's Peri Peri Chicken likes the Saints. Look for this to be a high-scoring game between two very potent offenses, but I like the Saints by double digits. Pick New Orleans at home.
Now, we're just trying to find out what's bugging our NFL fans. So what's bugging you, Aaron? What's bugging you about the NFL?
Hey everyone, this is Aaron Milan with Keller Williams Realty. What's bugging me this NFL season is how there's so many people still just nagging on about how the field goal post became a few feet closer a few years ago. I get it year one, I don't get it now. Let's all relax a little bit, and that's what's bugging me in this NFL season this year.
It is through our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light again. I would love for you to pick up my book, Getting to the Other Side of Victory. If not for yourself, a loved one, or a friend, pick it up for someone that's going through a tough time. You can purchase it on both Amazon and Barnes & Noble in both paperback or ebook. For my autographed copy, go to my website at www.donnajhopkins.com and help someone get to the other side of victory.
You know, Tony, week in and week out, this foursome does a great job on picking games. Everybody should take note. Tony, you are 25-18. That's pretty doggone good. Donna, 26-17. Amazing. Gary, 22-21. You're languishing a little bit, but you'll come back strong this week. And I'm 26-17. Carolina at Detroit. The only one that's picking Detroit is Gary. But you know what? They almost came back in the last game Sunday. Dallas at Atlanta. Tony and I, we are Dallas fans. We're really not. We just think they're going to beat Atlanta. And he knows Atlanta, so I'm glad I'm picking the same as he. All right, so Minnesota at Chicago. Everybody's got Chicago, but Donna, she's picking Kirk Cousins, okay? Philadelphia and New Orleans. Everybody's picking the machine, the New Orleans machine. Tennessee at Indianapolis. Everybody thought, wow, Tennessee beat New England, so everybody's got Tennessee. We could be wrong, but we'll see.
Well, I might as well begin this segment with my tip. And when I think about the tip for you Washington Redskins fans and players, what you need to do is remember what has transpired in the last couple of weeks. You had two teams that you should have beat both of them. You lost one, you won one. Now you got a team coming in this week. You better play your A game because this team is the same record as you with a lot of good players. Speaking of good players, Gary, as you take a look at this team right now, they not only have a good defense, but Watson is a pretty good threat with both passing and running.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good team coming in, but to beat this team, it's really simple. We have to play good offense, and we got to play great defense. That wins the football game. Our offense right now is playing about 6.5. If they play 8.5, we go away winning this. We walk away winning this football game.
What do you attribute to them playing 6.5 right now? Is it them
Right now we have a running game, but not really a passing game. We don't have a nice mixture right now. Once we have a mixture of both games where the running game sets up the passing game or the passing game sets up the running game, that's how you win football games. You have to have productive on both sides. You know, you have to run the ball well and you have to pass the ball well.
So Donna, looking at this defense, do you try to run against them with the big horses they have up front? Do you still try 25 to 35 times?
Well, Tony, the scary thing about it, you mentioned this, is that Houston has a good defense. And when you look at the Redskins patched together offensive line, they are really going to have to play a great game this week and protect Alex Smith a lot. And I think it has to begin with the running game, but you can't go away from the passing game because you need that also. Like Gary said, they at a 6, they need to be at a 9 this coming week.
Well, Tony,
Mike,
yeah.
Very quickly, tell me, what can our special team do to help in this game? Is it just field control, big plays, good tackling and coverage?
Well, I think basically just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, Hopkins, only missed 1 field goal all season. Tressway needs to pin this team inside the 20. But Tony, you're going to have to deal with J.J. Watt. And I know how much you think of him. Clowney is beginning to come on. You're going to have to deal with Clowney. You've got 2 speed demons that you're going to have to cover with DeAndre Hopkins, another one of your relatives, Donna, and Demaryius Thomas. You've got 2 guys that can go downfield, and you've got a scrambling quarterback. This is a very difficult team. But what I read about them, if you can stop their run, Tony, you can beat this team. So I think that's the key.
Well, you just answered your question. You feel like they stopped the run. G, what do you think they need to do?
Really, I think they need to stop the run. But also, I think our passing game really has to get on board. Just really does. We have to start actually being a threat where teams take us seriously in our passing game.
Donna Hop, what do you think?
Yeah, Tony, I think that this team needs to be on point on all 3 phases of the team to beat Houston this coming week.
For once in a while, I'm going to end the show by agreeing with Donna Hopkins. I'm not throwing anybody in the bus. We'll be back next week and hopefully be 7-3.
I never
Are we under the bus? We're under the bus, Gary. We're under the bus.
You too.
We're under the bus. Tony, good news. The Redskin Magazine Inc. Minority Scholarship Contest is back again this year, and we're encouraging all seniors to submit essays on the subject. Do you think the Voting Rights Act of 1965 impacts your rights today? Why or why not? And you can submit your essays to redmagplus.com. Once on the website, you go to Youth Sideline. That gives you all the instructions on the essay, how to submit it, and all we can say is they're great prizes, so best of luck to all the writers out there.